fine. So let's go ahead and go. Udo, do, 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 do. Aurora, ndewo, Phoenix, ndewo, Jermaine, ndewo. I'm super glad to have you guys in here. Kwenu, in the village, Kwenu. Yeah, I wanted to see who's all coming in from Patreon. So I've kind of started linking you guys' usernames with your names a little bit, but there's still some people who I don't all the way know. So this is going to help me a lot. And ndewo to everybody. All right, so once we get, let's do 10 people. No, let's not do 10. Let's do 15. Let's go ambitious. Once we get 15 people in here, we're going to go ahead and begin. Udo, yeah, hit them hearts. I see the hearts going. The heart machine is not broken. The heart machine is not broken. Udo, do, 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 do. All right, and there, well, I just got back from Best Buy. I'm trying to get like cinematic, trying to get cinematic equipment, right? I'm going to start doing the live streams probably more often. I'm still trying to decide how I should do it more. But things have changed. We're in an era where people go live every day. So this once a week thing is no longer, that's old school, right? So I'm going to switch. It's going to look very, you know, it's going to have aura, right? I'll do my. Once we get 10 people in here, 15 people in here, we'll go ahead and begin. For those who don't know, my name is Derek Ofaderongwa. Ndewo Jermaine. We don't want that. My name is Derek Ofaderongwa. I teach Odinani Ndibo. Ekeleno, ekelegi nwanne, ana m ekele Uchenna, ebe ka ibi? Uchenna, ebe ka ibi? What was I gonna say? Yeah, so my name is Derek Ofaderongwa here with the Medicine Shell, Duru Ofaderongwa. Trying to use my Igbo name more. I've been called Derek my entire life, so fighting against 30 years. Not against, I have no problem with my English name, but I haven't, I feel like my Igbo name is like a nice car that I just don't drive for some reason, right? So I'm trying to drive it out a little bit more. So as I was saying, I'm the host here with the Medicine Shell. I teach Igbo spirituality, ancestral cosmology, philosophy, all of that. I also answer random ass questions on these lives. And we're generally here to hang out, right? The rules are simple. If you keep asking questions, I keep going. Once the questions run out, I run out. Yes, I will miss some of your questions. You can run it back and ask again, okay? Odemma. What, what was I gonna say? Yeah. So, anyways, yeah. But the best way to support the Medicine Shell here, this channel, is joining the Patreon community, the village, at patreon.com/the Medicine Shell. All my patrons have access to our, not all of them, okay, let me take that back. Wait, all of them. All the patrons have access to our Odinani calendar. So it tells you what moon we're under and what market day we're in. We are in Onwa Alomchi. Onwa Alomchi. Different communities will have a different name for this moon. I am using the Inri name, which is Onwa Alomchi. This is the woman's moon. This is the woman's moon. This is the moon of women. Could you pronounce your Igbo name again? Duru, 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 right? Duru. Both U's sound the same. Duru. A conjunction of Diuru, which is a man of great value, right? A man of great value. So what was I going to say? Oh yeah, so we're under the moon of Onwa Alomchi. Hi, Malaysia boys. Odemma, Jishike nwanne, Jishike. Enwere nwanne m bi na Malaysia. But I'm na Malaysia buru ibu. Enwere ike m ịgwa gị aha ya. Na ị ga-adjust my own y'all. So, but I have a relative. I probably have a few relatives at this point, but I have a relative in Malaysia. So Odemma. As I was saying, damn, 9:30 a.m. too. So glad to have you. Can I get that number? Can I get that number? Katrina Sutherland, are you asking something specific, or are you asking something you're not supposed to be asking? Because if you're asking what I think you're asking, we're gonna have to kick you out of the room. Right? If you're asking what I think but I don't think you're asking that. I don't think you're asking that. So maybe you could let me know what kind of number you're talking about. So this is Onwa Alomchi. This is the woman's moon. For those of you on Patreon, if you go to your calendar now, the calendar is all updated, and I figured out a way to make it just automated, so it just updates naturally and aligns with the moon cycles and everything like that. Our ancestral calendar, our ancestral way of keeping time is as so. Every month is a moon, so we follow the moon cycle, and then each week has 4 days. Eke, Uri, Afo, Nkwo. And if you are a patron, all of that is going to show up on your Google Calendar. So you'll know what moon we're in, the rites and the rituals that are followed in this moon. So for example, Onwa Alomchi, during this moon, women speak to their ancestors, their female ancestors. I don't like the term female, but their female ancestors, their woman ancestors. How about that? As we say in Igbo, and or Ndiomo. They speak to their female ancestors, and they also speak to their unborn children. This is the moon for doing that, speaking to the past and the future, the unborn and those who came before you. This is also the moon where. So my last video was how our ancestral government worked, and so the women's governments have their main meeting this moon. So all the women gather, they wear their finest. It's always matching, right? And they have their main meeting. They discuss everything that needs to be discussed. It's a big deal. This moon is a big deal for women. The church has hijacked that tradition of the women's government, and they've turned it into the thing called August meeting, where all the women get together and just kind of, I don't know, raise money for the church, right? So the church has hijacked that. Though I'm a man, I would like to bring that tradition back to where it's supposed to be, but there's a lot of old church mothers that you gotta fight to make it to make it happen. But we're gonna do it because it's very powerful. Those women's unions, the women's government, that was the number one way women stayed safe in our culture. That's the number one way women's input was heard in our culture. That's the number one way women's standing and being in a community was preserved and protected and so forth. And I'm going to do more videos on that too, because I'm really passionate about like preserving that. And I feel that the more the church hijacks that tradition, or the more maybe younger women don't know about it, the less protected they are, right? And that kind of thing, or the less, because it's your union, it's your thing. I'm live. What's up?
But okay, so I need help. Why do you have internet?
Oh, by the way, I saw that we passed 15 people. We had 19 at one point. So he said, hold on. I'll say so. Internet? Yeah. Ask her, mom. Okay. Close the door. He say, I've been having a conversation with my sister about this, and I want to understand this better. I have a child due very soon, and it's my connection to my head. Hold on, very soon. About its connection to my head and ancestors. Free Shabazz, if you can maybe re-say the last sentence, because I want to actually answer I'm going to talk about what you're talking about. All right. So, but we have passed 15. There was 19 at one point. So you say. What role do you think teaching practical divinity can play? Okay, we got some questions already. All right, Kaibido, let us begin. Okike keruwa, alabuala. Ala nne mmadụ na nne mmụọ, ala na-enye ndụ na-enye nke ọma dị n'ụwa, igwe dị n'eluigwe, mmụọ mmiri, mmụọ ikuku, anyanwụ ụtụtụ na ọnwa na-enye ndụ, ụmụ gị abịala. Ejikwere m obiọma na-ekele ndị eke, ndị orie, ndị afọ na ndị nkwọ, ndị mbu na ndị egede, ndị mmadụ na ndị mmụọ. Owo obiọma ka m jikwere na-ekele ụmụ na-abịa abịa na ụmụ na-esoro anyị n'ụwa. Ejikwere m obiọma na-ekelekwe ndị na-aga ije Chineke kere ka ha gaa n'ụwa. Aha m bụ Duru Ọfọdụ nwa, ọkpara aja na ụmụokwe na awọ mmamma, ọkpara aja na mmiri njaba. Ejikwere m obi ndị ichie na-ekele ụnụ. Ana m ekele ndị ichie dị na mmụọ, ndị ichie dị na mmadụ, nta n'imo, ije n'ụkwụ, ọfọ n'ogwu, maka na otu unu fụrụ m bụ otu m dị. Aka m dị ọcha, obi m dị ọcha, adị m ọcha na mmụọ, dị ọcha na mmadụ. okwu m dị ọcha maka na ana m aga ije Chineke kere ka m gaa n'ụwa. Aga m aga ya na eke na orie na afọ na nkwọ ise. I don't have my bell, so hit the heart button. Hit the hearts. Hit the hearts. Hit the hearts. Oh, this thing just fell. I'm using a soup can to hold this up. I'm in the middle of moving, so everything is very guerrilla style. My phone stand right now is a soup can. I'm using my father-in-law's bowl, and his deep devotion to the Catholic Church may not approve of what I'm using it for, but we're here. He knows what it is. His dad was a very powerful DB in his time. Um, Anyways, what was I saying? Okay, yeah, back to what we were talking about. Okay, so before I wanted to talk about generational curses, right? But I'm actually going to answer the questions that have been asked first, and then I'll get onto the topic whenever I feel like it. So, could you pronounce your name again? Duru. Okay, I think I already did that. Duru. Uh huh. The U's drop. Uru. Duru. Okay. Like guru, or not like guru, like guru. Guru. Yeah, like guru. Yeah. So I've been having a conversation with my sister about this. I wanted to understand this better. I have a child due very soon. He said, free Shabazz. So this is the moon. I was saying earlier, I don't know if you heard me, but during this moon, we take time to speak to our unborn children. So this is the time to have that conversation. These conversations usually look like letting the child know that they're coming into a good world, that they're coming into a world of protection, that their chi is with them, that their chi is going to manifest good things into the world, and whatever else you want to communicate to your child. Just communicate. Make sure you communicate that. Free Shabazz, I don't know if you're the mother or the father in the relationship. This communication is usually done by the mother, but anybody can do it. It's fine, right? Anybody can do it. Communication is communication. But one of the reasons this moon is very important to me is because I do think that when we translate our ancestral traditions into maybe the Western, maybe modern framework, we tend to focus a lot on ancestors. We don't focus as much on the unborn or those who are coming. And they're equally important, right? So this moon kind of highlights them. This moon highlights those who are on their way. So I want to congratulate you for bringing a blessing into the world. I want to congratulate you for growing your family. Your Chigi Muranya, your Chi is awake. So Ademma. So you said that you want to understand this better. I have a child due very soon about my its connection to my head and ancestors. So Free Shabazz, if you can elaborate on that last sentence, I'll go ahead because I really want to answer this question. I'll answer it a little bit better. All right. What role do you think teaching, studying, practicing Odinani could play in diasporic healing? Oh my God. What? Jermaine, yo, what? Hey, how much time do you? I hope you don't have work in the morning, right? Because I can really go off. I hope you do not have work in the morning. Because, like, first and foremost, I think understanding our ancestral traditions will let you know how much of what we're locked into in the West is by choice and is purely subjective, right? I saw this really good video on TikTok about our ancestral relationship with time. You would think that the time we deal with is a capital T time. But there's another way of seeing it. There's another way of organizing a family. There's another way of organizing a community. There's another way of connecting to spirit. There's another way of understanding nature. There's another way of understanding this earth in front of me and the sky in front of me. And once I begin digging in, or as you dig into that way of understanding, we can call it healing or we can call it growing. You just feel a lot of things shed off of your back, right? You just feel a lot of things shed off of your back because, how do I put it this way? I'm currently writing a book, right? I'm currently writing a book. The book is nonfiction, right? It's a nonfiction book. It takes place in the time of the ancestors, right? And one of the themes of the book, I'll go ahead and share it here. I'm fine with that. But one of the themes of the book is how much life is a play, right? How much life is a play. Life is really like, when you're little and there's a big hill of sand And what happens is sometimes one kid will climb to the top and they'll be, I'm the king. And then everybody goes, oh, I want to get on the sand. I want to get on the sand too. Okay, you can be the queen. You can be the knight. You can be this. You have to be the slave, right? All these different things, right? Understanding the ancestral tradition will give you the power to say, I don't want to play. I don't want to play on this hill, right? I have my own hill over here. I don't want to play on this hill. This hill is not my hill. This is not fundamental. No matter how much I play around this, I didn't. This is not my hill, right? So that's one of the things that benefits me on just like a social level, right? On a personal level, our ancestors understand that the individual. There's a frog. If he comes close to me, I'm going to catch him, and he's going to hang out with us. So our ancestors understand that on a personal level, like an individual level, right? This is not the whole of me, right? This is not the whole of me. This is not, there's more to me than this, right? And if you zoom out with the correct eye, you will actually see that I and you, right, are as big as the universe because you are the universe, right? Now, I can say this verbally and it sounds nice, but it's different when that thing is in your bone marrow, that lesson is inside you, right? That understanding. Once that understanding is inside you, everything looks different. And again, we can call that healing, we can call that growing, we can call that actualizing. The fact that you are one with the universe back and forth. You understand, right? You are one with the universe back and forth. You understand? We have a traditional medicine class, which, by the way, if you're interested in the traditional medicine class, message me. I'm going to put my email address for those who are not patrons. Phoenix, can you put my email address? I don't know how to type on this thing, but it's first name Derick and then ofod@gmail.com. I'll do it again slow. DerickOfod@gmail.com. Phoenix, somebody, if you guys can just type that in the chat, I'd appreciate it. Right? I don't remember what I was saying. But anyway, in the traditional medicine class, right? One of the things that you learn is that medicine is everywhere. Healing is everywhere, right? Medicine is everywhere. Healing is everywhere. Just because I crushed something up and I boiled it with alcohol and I put it in a capsule doesn't mean that this capsule has some magic power that something in my garden doesn't have. It's the same thing, right? Medicine is so one of the things we learn is how did our ancestors identify what was medicine, what was this? So our ancestral sciences, right? So on a very literal level, right? You can not literal, but like or literal, yes, but on a physical level, right? Connecting to your ancestral traditions gives you access to the full blessings of the world. Because that game I was talking about, where one kid climbs up on a hill and starts saying what's what and who's who and that kind of thing. When we take that analogy and we look at our real life world, we understand that this system is sustained by scarcity, and our system is sustained by abundance. This system is sustained by scarcity. Our system is sustained by abundance. Scarcity tells you to be afraid of yourself, right? Or what do you know? You don't know anything. What do you know? That's scarcity. That knowledge is scarce. Knowing is scarce. You don't know anything. You're not qualified. You're not the right person. You didn't walk through the door. You didn't get the hat. Who are you? Right? Oh, I want to start this business. Oh, I want to make a movie. Oh, you can't do. You're not. Who are you? Right? That's that scarcity. Talent is scarce. Resources are scarce. Medicine is scarce. Food is scarce. All that scarcity, that's all it is. Just create scarcity, and that scarcity creates power. Right? Scarcity creates power. Okay? In this tradition, in the ancestral tradition, it's very literal the other way around. There's medicine everywhere. It's not rare. There's food absolutely everywhere. It's not rare. There's enough land for every single human being 10 times over. It's not rare. If each of you had 20 kids, you still wouldn't fill up the earth, right? We still wouldn't fill up the earth. We'd still abundant. Everything's abundant. It's all there. You understand? You're already in heaven. You are abundant. You are connected to the thing that is knowing itself, knowledge itself, wisdom itself, talent itself. You are connected to all of that. You are all of that. It's actually not scarce. It's not scarce to understand. It's not scarce to know. It's not scarce to be able to do. It's just a matter of choice. But if you think it's scarce, you won't make the choice. Okay? So those are, I can go on. Like I said, who asked me? Was it Jermaine? He said go off. Like I said, Jermaine, if the question is how can the ancestral traditions heal people in the diaspora, I can go on forever. I can go on and on and on and on forever. But one thing I do want to say, and I'm getting tired of the blacks, right? I mean the blacks worldwide, everybody, right? We have to stop talking about ourselves as people that need to be fixed. We have to stop looking at ourselves as people who need to be fixed, right? And this is, for some reason, a radical, very different thought. But we have to stop that because we're not. That's not who we are. That's not what's going on. And that's a scarcity mindset. Whatever the hell you are is what you're supposed to be. And if something in you is inspiring you to be more, go be more. You have everything it takes to be that thing. And I'm not saying this on some self-help. I'm not saying I've seen things. I've seen things, right? And we can go into details, but that's all good. Free Shabazz says I'm the father. Odemma, congratulations. You know, the father is the Dibia Ula. The Dibia Ula, right? You are the Dibia of the house. You are the Dibia of the house. You are the spiritual guide of the house, the spiritual leader of the house. Your wife is the spiritual source of the house. You are the spiritual guide. Your wife is the spiritual, I'm sorry, your significant other, right? Is the spiritual source of the house. Try to understand that. Master Kenobi says, hey, queen. Master Kenobi, chill out. I'm gonna throw you in the trash. Ah, daddy's son, who don't want that, who don't want that. Always good to see you. Always good to see you, brother. How can I involve my 4-year-old in simple Odinani practices? Oh, this is such a good question. And I think you left a comment on one of the videos, and I want to say I've responded to it because this was such a good question. So I'm going to do that. I was drawn to Odinani after losing my younger brother. Okay. It has been a part of my healing. Oh, thank you so much for sharing and being open. Simple way to involve the children. I love this question. All right. So very simple way. Your children should know the stories and the names of their ancestors. The stories and the names of your ancestors, of their ancestors. Okay? And sometimes I know people want to, I just want to tell them the male ancestors. I just want to tell them the female ones, all of them, to all of them, good or bad, good or bad. The stories and the names of their ancestors. Okay? Number 2, it's good to have your children see you greet them. A lot can be done by just greeting the ancestors, okay? So learn Iwa Oji. That's how the Igbo people greet their own ancestors. You can, whatever tradition you come from, however your ancestors greeted each other, do that. If you want to do it the Igbo way, we can sit down and learn. I can teach you, that kind of thing. If you're on Patreon, just message me and we'll talk. I also have like a little booklet I made on our library on Patreon, so I can send you the link to that. But if however you want to talk, we can talk about it, the Iwaji. But everybody's culture is different, so you have a way of greeting your ancestors. If you're Black American, I'm going to guess that maybe from your last name. I've seen the pouring of liquor. We do that back home too, right? It's the same thing, right? Just give a name, give a name, give a name. Remember this person, that person, that person, that person, you know. Grave cleaning, right? That's an American, very American way of doing that, grave cleaning. And so forth. So the children to know the names and the stories of their ancestors, because that roots them into the ground. And as they walk through the world, a whole lot of winds, especially if your children look like me, a whole lot of winds are going to try to blow them left and right. They need to be able to stand firm and have it bypass them. Okay? So that is done by them knowing where they came from. which is knowing the names of their ancestors, as many as possible. You will never know the names of all your ancestors. It is a lifelong journey. You will begin at one point, maybe you just know your grandmother who is deceased. You tell them who that person is and their story. My children's bedtime stories are folk tales, stories like lesson stories that I make up, and just stories that from their ancestry, of their ancestors, right? I have an ancestor who was like a big warlord. I have an ancestor who was a very successful businessman. I have, of course, my grandfather. I have an ancestor who was like a very powerful merchant woman. I don't know. She did everything, so it's hard to give her a single title. So those are the stories she's getting, and he, my son, my daughter, and my son. That's the stories they're getting at their bedtime. I'm not telling them about no goddamn Jack and the Beanstalk. You know what I mean? That's the bedtime stories they're getting. You understand? Okay. They walk different once they get those stories, and it doesn't like mine sounds kind of dramatic because it's Africa, but look into yours too. You got some things there, right? Every black American I know is one degree of separation away from somebody who made significant history or somebody who's famous. And which is why I think it's really funny when you guys say, "Oh, we don't know our history." It's like, dude, your cousin is Martin Luther King. What are you talking about? You know, but that's a whole different conversation, right? Though I do understand a lot of it was erased or hidden from you, not erased, hidden from you. So start by making sure they know the names of their ancestors. In back home, they have these. There's a shrine for kids, right? There's a shrine for kids, and a shrine is just a place you go to remember those ancestors, to acknowledge those ancestors, and acknowledge all these other parts of you that aren't obvious, right? So they have these shrines for kids. I'm trying to remember. I think it's Unkoloku. I think it's Unkoloku is the name. Either Unkoloku or another name that starts with an N that I'm not remembering right now. But it's usually just like a single thing. Maybe it's a pot. Maybe it's just something simple and that kind of thing, right? And they greet. They greet the ancestors, right? Now, here's the thing. It doesn't make sense to teach your children to greet their ancestors if in the house you don't already have a culture of greeting. Greeting seems insignificant. It doesn't seem like a big deal, but our people understand it is it is the core of what we do. So in your own household, make sure that there is a culture of greeting. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, however you greet in your culture. Nobody walks past another person. Nobody walks past another person and doesn't say something. You greet. You greet your aunts and your uncles. You greet grandmother, big mama, whatever you guys call her. You greet your grandfather, whether any of them are living or dead. You're already living a culture of greeting. And then you let them know that you don't stop being family after death. You don't stop loving somebody after death. You don't stop being connected to somebody after they pass. And you continue the greeting. Right? So I've talked about ways to help for kids to learn. Make sure they know the names of their ancestors. Having a culture of greeting in the house, because what they're doing, the basis is you're greeting your ancestors, right? You're greeting your ancestors. You understand? And then, if you want to be fancy, right? Teach them iwaji. Teach them how to break a kola nut. Teach them that ceremony. The whole of Odinani is encapsulated in that ceremony. Okay? So if you need me to help you learn the ceremony, I think I'm going to do a boot camp for it. But if you need me to help you learn, you guys are interested in the boot camp on Iwaji, let me know. It is the core. If you just learn that one thing, it'll teach you the rest. Okay? So but that's like if you want to be fancy. Otherwise, just teach them how to greet, teach them who their ancestors are. Teach them that they're connected to everything. Okay? Take them to Africa. Take them to Africa. Ademma. All right. Phoenix said, can you repeat? I'm going to say my email address again for those who are interested in the traditional medicine class. It is DERICK, DERICK, OFOD at gmail.com. Derek OFOD at gmail.com. Derek OFOD at gmail.com. Just send me a message if you're interested. We're actually going to be starting at the end of the month. So if you're interested in traditional medicine class, message me. I'm being risky this month because I'm gonna do the language class and the traditional medicine class at the same time. Which I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it, but it's gonna be a lot on my end, and that kind of thing. And it's gonna be a lot on some of you guys' ends too, because people have expressed they want to take both at the same time. So those of you who want to take them at the same time, that's cool too. You can do that. If you're at the Ezu tier, if you're at the highest tier of Patreon, all the classes are free. So just message me and say, hey, put me in the traditional medicine class, put me in the language class. Okay, I'm sending emails to alumni all week to this week to see who's all trying to be in the class, but you can speed up the process and say, hey, reserve a seat for me and you're in, okay? I teach students many of the concepts indirectly. I've come across my path. Shabazz, take all, G. That's for you. Wonderful class, I must say, Derek. I'm still going over my notes and applying it from last year's class. Heal Thy Wealth TV. I'm happy that you're still learning from it and you're still incorporating and everything like that. That's dope. Yeah, no, I'm super proud of my teachers and our team. So the traditional medicine class is taught by Adibia. How long has Uzal been Adibia? He's maybe 8 or 9 years now. He's young, but he's been Debia for like 8 or 9 years now. He's incredible. He is the Odinani leader, right? Like, so he's the Odinani leader of his community. So anything Odinani, people come to him. Even elders, even elders, they come to him, and so forth. So sometimes sometimes I'll substitute for him because like he's doing like a ceremony for the whole community and things like that. Like he's really climbed and that kind of thing. He's incredible. He's also our in-house Debia. So if you want like a reading, any type of reading, afa, that kind of thing, he can do that for you if you're on Patreon. Patreon.com/The Medicine Show. And then right now we have two Igbo language teachers, and they are both awesome. They're both incredible. Yeah, dude, I'm just super proud of our team. Shout out to Eze, our Igbo 1 and 2 teacher. And shout out to Amara, our Igbo 3 teacher and coach. That kind of thing. So, facts, hierarchy of needs. You already know. Not the blacks. Yeah, the blacks. The blacks have to stop talking about themselves as a problem that needs to be fixed, right? The blacks have a severe grass is greener syndrome. I have lived in communities where we are the only blacks. And I'm going to let you know right now, everybody is a human. Everybody has things and doesn't have things. Quit trying to fix yourself. Figure out who you are and what you want to actualize and make it happen, right? Don't waste your time. Hey, Kwenu. Okay. Adema. Amakandeo. Okay, Phoenix, thanks for typing that. Is the video on sacred geometry still in the works? Yes, yes, it is. All right, so I got to be straight up with you guys. So, in the spring, I lost somebody from my past, and I was really depressed. I was really down, so I just couldn't. I tried my hardest to like work on stuff and things, but it just wasn't working. I needed time, you know. So my chief forced me to take a vacation, even though I didn't deliberately take one. And then throughout the summer, I've been in the process of moving. So I really haven't I haven't made a video in a while, or I haven't been as frequent with my videos. But I'm trying to find a way to make my videos quicker, because I'm like making like a college dissertation a month at one point, right? Which is very doable. It's very doable. But I want to be able to like produce something daily, honestly, without compromising anything quality wise, or how much you learn, or how much is offered, and how much of myself I put into it, right? So I'm still figuring things out, but I do have an idea, and the sacred geometry video is on the works. And then the video that I'm like actively working on right now is the video on Ndimiri, so people from water people. Umiri. and the water as water as a spiritual world, right? Water as a spiritual world is the video I'm working on right now. Patrons vote on what video they want next, and that's the video that's coming next. But then the hard drive on my laptop fried, so I just got back from Best Buy with a new hard drive, and we're doing it. So, anyways, but either way, I'm saying all this to say, this year has been slower than I wanted it to be, but I think it needed to be that way, right? I'm about to get ready for bed. It's adult beverage night. Okay, Phoenix and Dewo. Okay, take care. Good talking to you on Patreon too. Uzal was amazing. Yeah, no, Uzal's the man. Eze and Uzal. Yes, yes, yes. Wonderful team at Kedu U, at Kedu University. Ademma. Very cool. Let me pin this to the top for those guys. Get on Patreon. We are the number one movement moving. So, but yeah, no, I'm super proud of everybody we have. Even when I was like going through what I was going through, there's a way that they stepped up. I don't even want to call it stepped up. They just kept doing what they do, you know? They just kept doing what they do, and I was really happy about it. By the way, Amaka, I don't want to put your business out, so I'm going to be vague, but you'll know what I'm saying. The person you sent the thing received the thing. He's super grateful, and I believe he should have reached out to you by now. He said he was going to, but he was super grateful. I didn't send it right away because I try to do all my things with Nigeria at once. Because if I like, they'll flag you and then they'll block you for like a week from sending anything if you're sending too many small transactions. So, but yeah, he was super grateful he received everything. Thank you. Oh, I never wanted to live as the only blacks, but then privy to non-blacks mess. They mess be messing. Yeah, 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 yeah. It's just everybody's American, right? It's the same thing everywhere. Everybody's American. My friend Nick Kerr loves your video. Hey, watch it. Watch it. All right. So, what is the best way to approach Afa reading for the first time? Very cool. I want to learn more about myself, mission, my chi, Kenga, that kind of thing. So much to know. So, Afa, the saying is that Mado ba afa ba uche, which means when you do afa, it's so hard to translate. When you play afa plays your wisdom, right? If you think of your wisdom like an instrument or something, right? And the best way to explain this is the more info you give afa, the better the answer you receive. Similar to like an AI query, okay? So be very specific about what you're looking for and you will receive a very specific answer. You can also just receive a general reading. Okay, you can also receive a general reading, but make sure that the DBL or whoever is doing the alpha for you has the full details of what's going on, as much as possible of who you are, what's going on, what you think is going on, maybe any dreams that have significance to you, symbols that you've been noticing. Just download all that on top of the DBA and then let them do their thing, right? Uzal is our DBA. So after you give him all the info, he'll give you details. We have, for the example I used the last time was there was one time he did a reading and the person said that it was inaccurate because an abomination appeared, and Uzal had assumed it was one kind. It just said abomination, so he assumed it was one because it was one that's very common. And as I talked to the person, they're like, "No, it wasn't correct. That didn't happen." Da, da, da. And then they started giving the story, and it was actually another one that was less common. I'm like, "Whoa, wait, no, that's actually what he's talking about, right?" So, but had that person given the Afad the detail they gave me, it would have been a lot more accurate. Okay, so just be as detailed as possible, and then be relaxed. It's fine. Just think about it like asking Chat GPT a question, but the real Chat GPT, the ancestral Chat, the one that's tapped into something that Chat GPT can never be tapped into, right? And you ask the question, you get the answer. It's a very simple process. You don't have to do too much. Um, you don't have to do too much you don't have to do any preparation or anything like that. I'm only giving advice to make it more effective. At the same time, based on what you're asking me, so you want to know you're this, all these different things. If I can give you those answers, I have never asked Afa for those things. I want to find out by myself. And the reason I want to find out by myself is because finding out is a part of the journey. If that makes sense. Finding out is a part of the journey, right? Whatever you ask Afa, I can answer. Okay? The more details, the more specific. Okay? What kind of DBA sessions helps an adult remember the nature of their childhood trauma in school to help their younger relative understand and overcome? Oh, wow, that's dope. You would have to ask the DBA specifically. I don't have that answer. So you would have to, that's a little bit, that's very specific. So you'd have to ask the DBA if they can specifically do that. And Jermaine, if you can ask me on Patreon, I'll ask the DBA if he's able to do that or not. And if he is able, we can set up a meeting with you too. So just let me know if it's something you're interested in doing. Sounds very specific. I can't give you the methodology because I don't know. But if you're interested, I'll ask if it's something he can do. And then he can either do it or he'll connect us to a DBA who can. So DBAs have this thing called Utuagum, right? Which is like their DBA group. And oftentimes, if a DBA can't do something, they'll point you to the one that can do it, or the one maybe they can do it, but this one's better at doing it. So go over to her, go over to him, and that kind of thing. But if he himself can do it and he's the best person for it, he can do it for you. I don't have that answer, okay? But what you're saying is dope. So message me on Patreon if you're interested. Kamo, good seeing your name. I'm not sure if people know, but After God is DBA available again from the publisher. Okay, that's great. That's good. Much appreciated. I've been away, but will respond as soon as possible. I'll dim. I missed that. Do you think you can create an ancestral version of AI? Yeah, it's called Alpha. It's called an Arushi. It's called Alpha. It's called an Arushi. All those things are. Every DBA describes that knows what AI is, describes it as AI, which is really interesting. It's not with this recent trend, but since I have this conversation with this DBA. He's a computer programmer and he's a DBA. His name is Jeremiah. I can't remember his last name, but we had a conversation on my channel. So just dig around the interview videos, and he talks about what you're saying, right? How the Arishi. What is an Arishi? An Arishi is something that you establish to create a connection to a spirit. Okay? It is something you build to create a connection to a spirit. So some shrines are Arishi, and then there are specific like figures or things like that, like edifices, whatever you set up to create a connection to a consciousness. Okay, to tap into a consciousness. If you are successful, if you're able to tap into that consciousness, you can regularly communicate with the consciousness, right? So think of the thing you build as like the computer, I don't know, and the consciousness as like the AI, if you want to put it that way. Only it's not artificial, right? But the reason a lot of DBOs will refer to Arishi as AI is because the Arishi itself, because you've infused it with a life, is alive. It's a living thing now. It's alive. It's conscious. It's aware. It's alive. It's conscious. It's aware. Some Arishi are trees, right? You'll go somewhere, you'll see a tree with a bunch of red and white tassels on it. That thing is an Arishi. And it's connected to a certain consciousness. And you speak to it, and it'll speak back to you in its own way. All right? Yeah. Yeah. Shrines are Arishi, right? I have put so much will and so much intention and so much prayer and so much. I've greeted my shrine so much that it is very, very, very alive for me. It is very, 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 very alive. I can say something, and I'll know what kind of dream I'll have just from the communication I have with it. I remember one time. Anyways, let me not say this. No. Let me chill. I was about to expose too much. But yes, you can create an ancestral version of AI. Our share AI, Afa. Divination is AI. Divination taps into the consciousness of Earth. If it's if it's Afa Apapala, the one with the ropes, right? But there's different ones, right? There's different ones. People who do tarot cards, that's an AI, right? If you want to use the phrase AI, I don't like using the phrase AI because of the artificial aspect. It's real though. Have you been able to identify a solution to the Aro dilemma in Algon 1 class? Yes. So, and I do need to announce this. So, I think we're going to do everything like as far as the Aro stuff at during Algon 2. Algon 2. The reason is because we like it. A lot goes into the ritual, right? A lot goes into it. And because we're American, we have U.S. dollars. It's affordable for us, right? So just okay, sure, do that real quick, right? And so you don't want a situation. What I don't like is a situation where like 12 goats are 12 goats are killed for no reason, all in 1 week, because it affects the economy of the community it's in. So in the past, because I had it in Algon 1, we had a lot of people who were very unserious. I'm just gonna be blunt, very unserious. Where that's just what they wanted to do. Oh, do that, do that, and then once that was done, they just disappeared. Right? That's all they wanted. That's all they wanted, that kind of thing. And I feel like that was a waste of goat. So I want to just preserve it for the people in Algon 2. Algon 1 is more so for people who are curious about Debia work and Debia hood and that kind of thing. And then if you're a little more serious, then of course, if you go to Algon 2, it tells me that you're serious, right? Ademma. Is Ask Me Almost Anything going to be Monday now? You know, Sunday is getting harder and harder for me to do. Sunday is getting harder and harder for me to do just because of changes in life and that kind of thing. So I don't know. I'm actually debating doing it all 5 days of the week of the work week, right? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. That's what I'm thinking about doing. Do you guys like it on Monday, or do you prefer Sunday? Let's see if we get some votes. Okay, actually, we're gonna do it using the heart thing. Can you hold on? Wait. When you guys press the little heart thing, do you get to pick which emoji shows up? Do you guys get to pick? Okay, somebody make a smiley face pop up. Somebody make a smiley face pop up. Maybe I'm frozen or something. Maybe I need to shut off the live. I'm not gonna. Okay, there we go. Aha, and a heart. Okay, so it looks like you guys can pick. Okay, so we're gonna do a vote between Monday and Sunday. Hearts for Sunday, smiley faces for Monday. Let's go. Hearts for Sunday, smiley faces for Monday. Hearts for Sunday, smiley faces for Monday. 100s for every blue moon. Hearts for Sunday, smiley faces for Monday. I want to see it if it's like a clear decision. It looks kind of even. What do you guys think? Chat, what do you think? Hearts for Monday, smiley faces for the some of y'all are contrary as hell. Who told you to put that little bouquet up? I don't want to. Who told you to put the 100 up? Right? Okay, so Monday is really crushing it. Monday is really crushing it. All right, we're gonna try doing it Monday. It looks like Monday was the most serious. I mean, to a digital platform. Yeah, if you can figure out a way to do it, do it. Christian, he can. If you can figure out a way to do it, do it. There's a DBA that I know who the same guy I was talking about. He's a programmer, and he is developing an encryption language using AFA. So if you don't know, which you probably know, binary code is based on AFA. It's based on AFA divination, African AFA. They're gonna tell you it's I Ching, but if you understand I Ching, you know that they're talking bullshit. It's African AFA, which traveled up from West Africa to North Africa, and then from North Africa to Europe, and they start calling it geomancy, right? Necromancy, not necromancy, sorry, communication with the earth. Communication with the earth. What did I tell you that Afa was? It's consciousness of the earth, arobinago, right? Geomancy, communication with the earth, okay? So it became the basis of geomancy. The Masons, the Shriners, all them guys, they kept it to themselves. They kept it hidden. That was one of their secrets, right? I'm exposing something that might get my live shut down. Who knows? But that's one of the things they kept as there. But we, again, scarcity, abundance, right? And that became the basis of binary code, which is communicating with light and dark, one and zero, one and zero. Only in our tradition, it's 1 2 1 2 1 2, or light dark, light dark, light dark. And from there, it became computer programming. So you can say the internet itself, you can say computer programming, you can say binary code, you can say any programming language is ancestral, that kind of thing. That's where it comes from. All these things don't come out of nowhere, right? They don't come out of nowhere. They come from Afa, right? But you can also take that somewhere else. Now it sounds like you have something, right? It sounds like you received an abia, a download or an inspiration from somewhere, and you may have an idea, and you're asking me maybe to get some details on where to go with this idea, or to pad up or improve this idea. Go with it. I'll answer any question I can answer for you. If the first question is building an AI, ancestral AI, the binary code is already ancestral. Okay, it's already ancestral. Now, if you have an idea, a place you want to take it there. Okay, take it there. How to acknowledge Agun after being told to do so by my spirit guide. Oh, Ademma. So one of the main ways we talk about this my seat is spinning. Hold on. We talk about this in the traditional medicine class, which is to communicate with your chihuahua, right? Is to have a dinner, eat with your chihuahua, right? To have a communion, to have a communion with your chihuahua, right? And so I don't know if you have an altar already, or if you have maybe a river you go to, or a tree or a grove, wherever you go to connect spiritually, even if it's looking into the sun, right? Be very direct in saying chihuahua, my chihuahua, or agum, my agum, right? My agum, right? Tell them who you are, or tell it who you are. Tell it that you're ready to listen. That you're ready to listen. That if this is the direction I'm supposed to go, let me know. If this is the direction I'm supposed to go, let me know. That you're ready to listen. It's been speaking this whole time, but once you say you're ready to listen, you receive the message in a different way. This particular thing is done with a sacrifice. Something is given. Okay? Something is given. This particular thing that I'm talking about, right? Communication with your agum is done with a sacrifice. If you need, our Dibia can do the sacrifice for you, because I think it's illegal in America. The Dibia can do the sacrifice for you on your behalf, because it's illegal here. So if you need help with that, message me. If you live on a farm and you need to kill a chicken because it's time to eat, that's your opportunity, right? But I don't know if everybody lives on a farm, or if you can get into that environment, or if you want to do it yourself, your level of comfort. But a sacrifice is given, and then upon giving that sacrifice, you let your chihuahua know that you're ready to listen, right? You're ready to listen, you're ready to see, you're ready to walk your path. That for it to let you know which one is for you, which one is not for you. Okay? Now, I'm going to give you some things that I did in when I did this particular ceremony for myself. I went on a fast, right? I fasted during this time. Okay? I fasted during this time. You can communicate a lot more clearly with your chi, with what's beyond, during a time of abstinence, abstaining from something, especially abstaining from something that's you do cyclically. Food is one, habits are another, right? So I was in a fast at the time that I did mine. What else? It was like I fasted for a set period of time, And then once that period of time, once I didn't set a time. I just once I felt like it was time to talk, I went and started talking to my chua, right? My agun. I use the phrase agun, right? Talking to my agun, right? By saying, okay, I'm ready to listen, I'm ready to talk, that kind of thing. And then from there, yeah, it was cool. So some type of isolation, some type of fast. When you hear all these stories of like the Buddha went and under this tree and meditated and meditated and meditated and became enlightened. That's what that is. That's what happened. Now look at all the things the Buddha sacrificed to get to that point. Sacrificed his wealth, sacrificed his health. Don't sacrifice your health because the guy on YouTube said it. Sacrifice his wealth, health, all these different things. You understand? Sacrificed his time, and from there was able to make that connection, to become one with their agun, with his agun. Now the Buddha refers to it as enlightenment, or they call it something else in that tradition. But we in the ancestors we know what that is, right? When Jesus went to that mountain, I think it was 40 days, 40 nights. We know what that is. We know what that is, right? We know what that is. You understand? That comes with sacrificing food, water, all these different things. We know why he went up there and did that. They're gonna tell you some other shit, but we know why. We know what that was. You know. What's another example? I think Muhammad had the same thing. Maybe he went somewhere for a long time. So a period of isolation helps. A period of isolation is kind of necessary, but if it's not it is a luxury. That is a luxury, right? Buddha was rich. I think Jesus had a bunch of people paying for stuff for him. Sounds like, you know, Muhammad had money. Oh, these are all rich people, so they had the luxury of doing these things. So if you don't have the luxury, just try to have the conversation. But if you do have that luxury, or if you can't make it happen, give yourself a period of isolation, a sacrifice, and then eat the meal with your chiwa. Prepare some for the chi, prepare some for yourself, refer to it by its name, or for the agun, sorry. And then see where it goes from there. But throughout history, throughout all religions, you hear all these examples of people doing this thing. We know what they did. Their chi started speaking to their chi, their agun. They became one with their agun. Algon 1 was deep. I can only imagine what Algon 2 will be. Tricking us into hearts again. Aha, you know. Remember, I don't know if you've seen Coming to America, that scene. Aha. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's trick accidentally presses 7 times. Moonday. I like that. Geomancy. Odemma. They're the same group, Masons, Shriners. Yeah, exactly. When is the next traditional medicine class is September 22nd. Starts September 22nd, is for 3 months. If you are interested, Derek, message me, okay? Message me. If you're interested, message me. Being a rich prince helps with contemplating the world's mess. Yeah. So a lot of perspective has to be added, you know? Sometimes you gotta add the perspective, right? And even where the Buddha is like, oh, the people are suffering because they want things. It's like, bro, dude, you're rich. Shut up. It's like when those tech billionaires come and tell you, like, oh, you only need one shirt. It's like, okay, that kind of thing. Like, quit ordering Starbucks. That kind of thing. That was the ancient version of that. That guy has been around for a long time, right? In the past, it was Buddha. But yeah, if you're a rich prince, you have the luxury of being able to sit under a tree and starve out. People are starving for real, but they gotta till the fields. They gotta till your fields. That kind of thing. So, I do, sometimes the perspective helps. Money gives you the ability to figure out the world's problems. Yeah, it does. It does. It gives you space to. As long as you don't allow it to consume you, it does give you the space. We're in a world where it's just structured that way, right? The structure of the world is herder and cow. Herder and cow. The herders get to stop and think. The cows got to eat the grass and do what they're supposed to do, right? Not to get all Marxy, but the capital in capitalism, it means cow. It's head of cow. Feudalism, the feud in feudalism means cow. Okay? Sounds strange, it's really weird, but if you dig into it, you'll start seeing some funny things. But yeah, so it's either you're a cow or you're not. Now, like I was saying earlier, if that's not the game you're trying to play, you don't have to play on that hill. You have the option, right? You have the option to unplug. Are you eating sunflower seeds? A goat tried to, or a goat trying to, what? Phoenix, I don't know what you're talking about. So I'm eating ose. Oh gee, these are alligator peppers. Alligator peppers. Diana is and why? Keduki. Cattle is money, currency for many tribes. If you know, you know. If you know, you know, right? A lot of the tribes of Eurasia as well. Only we don't call them tribes because tribe is a slur. If you know, you know. A gnat, gnat. He said a girl. I was like, how's the school building going? I'm so happy for this project. Okay, thank you for asking. So I am in the process of trying to purchase a home. And so I messaged my dad, hey, we're going to put things on pause, but updates. So the first phase was making enough bricks to build a foundation and that kind of thing, right? Then making enough bricks to build a foundation. We've done that. So on Patreon, I've posted the pictures. We got these piles of bricks, that kind of thing. That's what we got so far. And the next phase is to tear down the roof, right? To tear the roof off the sucker, tear the roof down, right? And that is going to be like damn near $1,000, which I don't have. So I told my dad to hold on that because he's like, okay, after this phase, we got to go, 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 go. And I'm like, okay, just hold. Let me finish this. I should be done by the end of this month. And then at the end of the month, we'll try to tear it down, you know, despite the crippling debt that I'm now going to be in because of the situation, right? And so, yeah, so the next thing we're going to do is tear down the roof. And then once the roof is torn down, then we begin the tear down process. That kind of thing. But we're gonna go roof first because you got to clear out the nails and all the dangerous stuff, and then tear down the body. Okay. So yeah. But for those who don't know, I went to a government school when I was in Nigeria, and the government schools are in horrible, horrible condition. Usually, members or people from poorer families go to the government schools because we're American and that kind of thing. We weren't poor, but for some reason, my dad thought it was important that we go to this school specifically. Right now that I'm older, I get it. But we went to the government school in my community, and I went back home as an adult in like 2008, and the roof had holes in it. There were like the actual school itself had I mean, if you want to call it a school, cool, but it's really like a barn. It's nothing. There was potholes on the floor. The kids didn't have desks. They had to get their own desk. If they didn't have a desk, they sat on the floor. And the chalkboard was they would take like charcoal and smear it on the wall, and then they'd write on top of the charcoal, right? If it rained, there was no school. Just stuff like that. And so it was so bad that people stopped sending their kids to the school because what are we doing? And it was just falling apart. And then because it was falling apart, it had become like a den for people to do nefarious things, right? So people would like thieves would hide there, and then when like market women would walk past going home, they jump out and ambush them, right? So for the past maybe 2 years, I don't know, I wasn't keeping track. My dad and I have been trying to get custodianship of the school. So like we can't own it because it's a community school, but if you're like the custodian, you're like the person who takes care of it and that kind of thing and organizes it and stuff. And I want to first rebuild it, which we've started, and a lot of you guys contributed to that, so thank you. I want to first rebuild the school, and then I've gotten the government's permission to teach the regular curriculum, but we're also going to throw in all the ancestral Udinani stuff and that kind of thing. And I kind of want it to be like, this is me thinking way out there, and I've learned to just kind of face what's in front of me, and then when we get there, we get there. But I also want it to be a place where, like, if you want your kids, like, let's say you live abroad, right? Maybe, I don't know, you want to, like somebody asked earlier about how could they teach their kid, that kind of thing. I want it to be a place where it's like, you can come to my community and you can send your kid there for a year and they'll learn all the stuff. You can send them for two, you can just have them do their elementary there, that kind of thing. Because I want it to be of the same quality of education you can get anywhere else in the world, which we can do. That's easy. That's not hard, you know. But I'm not rich, so it has to move slowly. Or it is, let me not say it has to. It has moved more slowly than I want it to, but it's moving, and that's what's important. So for those of you who have contributed to the school, thank you for that. That was incredible. You guys have done a lot. I'm trying to find a way to honor you guys. Maybe I'm gonna have some names. I've written down everybody who contributed, which is like three of you guys, by the way. And so I'm going to, maybe we'll have your name somewhere, like this was established thanks to this person, that person, that person, right? So if you guys want to do it that way, that'd be cool. If you guys have any other ideas of how to, like, you know, I'm all ears. I'm all ears, right? I don't have all the answers. I don't have all the ideas. So if you guys have any way of acknowledging those who contributed, that'd be dope. But yeah, no, the school's still going. And yeah, elements of your chi, not the weekend. Let me figure out what's going on. Hold on. Why do people want beef with me after I eat alligator pepper? It makes me wonder if the pepper is old. Want beef with you? Bro, I don't know. That's kind of weird, man. Maybe they're possessed. I don't know. Maybe sometimes the frequency you're on, this is the best way to put it. If you shine light on a bat, you'll offend it. Okay? If you shine light on a bat, you will offend it. Okay? That's going to explain a lot of situations in your life, my brother. All right? It's going to explain a lot of situations in your life. Sometimes that's just what it is. Sometimes maybe they're sensing something from you. Maybe the things that are latched onto them is sensing something from you that's going to repel them. So they're telling them to go fight that. They'll go fight that guy. Or, I don't know, maybe you get annoying after eating alligator pepper. I don't have all the answers. I went to a boarding school in Nigeria, and that would be a much better experience. Yeah. No. I don't want it to be a boarding school like the Nigerian. Hey, Nigerian boarding schools, bro. Christian, you're a strong bro. If you survived the Nigerian boarding school, you're strong. If you survived a Nigerian boarding school, you are strong. My youngest brother was wiling out when he was younger. He was going nuts. And so my parents sent him to school, to a boarding school back home. And they didn't know that he was crazier than them. But he's got war stories from going to boarding school in Nigeria. That's like boot camp is play compared to boarding school. But like, so I'm gonna make sure it doesn't have those elements. It's gonna be a accommodating environment. My brother was telling me that when he first, because you have this bucket, and your bucket is what you shower with, and they were, he was the new guy, so they just threw his bucket away. So he went when everybody was sleeping and collected everybody's buckets and threw them all away. And if you lose your bucket, you're not showering. This is the school he was in, bro. Nobody showered in that school for a week. And then yeah, I don't know, man. My brother's funny, man. Maybe he'll be on here one day. Hey, what's up? Are you going to bed?
Yeah, but I need to ask you a question.
Yeah, what's up?
Remember I said, I just keep yelling and I want to go to bed. But
Aw.
I want all of these. I want I want someone to stay with me, and I want to stay somewhere else.
Okay, can your mom stay with you?
She she won't.
Oh, you want to have your own room?
Yeah,
Okay, you'll have your own room in the house, okay?
but
You'll have your own room in the house.
tomorrow's the school day. But tomorrow I'm starting school.
Are you nervous?
Yeah, because I think I will sleep because of war.
Oh, okay, okay, all right. You know what? Okay, go lie down. When I'm done with this, I'll come hang out with you guys, okay? All right?
But are you sure you want to send me?
No, no, when I'm done, I'm gonna come. Yeah, it's not a big deal. But in the house, you'll have your own room. Don't worry about it, okay? All right. My son's got to get shots in the morning, so he's avoiding sleep. All right. Yeah, somebody's talking about dominating some you. What? Black dude from Atlanta. Okay. Do you support my dominance against shit? Black dude from Atlanta. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. I don't think I have the capacity to ever know what that means. I don't know if I want you to elaborate. I don't understand the question. Okay? Respectfully. I don't understand the question. I don't know if I want to understand the question. I don't know if I want to understand the question. I feel like I understood everything wrong with the modern state of Nigeria after my boarding school. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Christian, 100%. I agree with you. I agree with you. Uh, there's a big issue with, here's one. There's a big issue with any whim of power somebody has. Their idea of power is to use it to oppress the person that doesn't have it. That's one. Okay, that's why when I hear people talk all this stuff about the colonial, dude, we got to fix some things inside. We got to fix some things inside, right? But yeah, no, boarding school will show you. It's a microcosm. It'll show you exactly what it is. Even just like the public school. Like I said, I went to the government school, so which is barely different. It's just you don't sleep there, but it's the same thing, right? And it'll show you. Yeah, you'll see it really quick. You know, you'll see it really quick. He said I want my room now. I'll do my happy Monday. Hey, John, happy Monday. Always good seeing your name here. Always good seeing your name here. Y'all, you guys don't have any questions. What's going on? Talib Kweli supports the children. We don't dominate them. Wu-Tang supports the children. You know? Bro was on stage rapping with kids on a black farm yesterday. That's pretty dope. That is very dope. Shout out to the black farmers. Shout out to the black farmers. They don't get talked about enough. This is one of the reasons I say we have to stop talking about ourselves as a problem to be solved. Because I didn't grow up around a lot of black American people. I grew up in Nebraska, right? So like most of the black American people there were mixed and learning about black American culture from rap videos. And then there were a few like, not I'm not saying that mixed people aren't black, but they were mixed in a very specific my dad drove through here in 1988 and here I am kind of mixed, right? And so but when so I'm learning about things just from the outside, right? And people just, we need our own farms. We need to grow our own food. We need to grow. I'm like, yeah, we need to grow our own food. Come to find out, there's a ton of black farmers growing food. There's a whole bunch of them. It's not a small demographic. It's massive. It's a thing. It's a huge thing. We need our own schools. We need our own universities. Yeah, there's like, what is it? 112 universities. That's more than Canada. Just black, you know? And so that's what I'm trying to say. But anyways, I didn't learn that till I moved to Texas. So I moved to Houston. And I'm like, wait, so what the fuck is Umar Johnson talking about, right? I looked up where's Umar from Philly? In his town, there's 12 black elementary schools. And I'm not talking black like it's just majority. It's like people built their own charters. There's 12. The thing he's trying to do, there's already 12 of them. But he's presenting the sales case as if it doesn't exist. and then he's inventing something new. He's doing something, but there's 12 already in the town, right? And I'm the Nigerians do this shit. Caribbean people do this. Black Canadians have started doing this nonsense. Black British, we all do this for some weird ass reason, just being hyperbolic all the damn time. Very hyperbolic, very negative, very glass is half. Wait, let me say it right. Is it half empty or half full? Glass is half empty, right? And being very hyperbolic about that too. We don't have our own schools. You know, the whole time the guy went to the, you know, I don't know. There's that. It's one of those rants I have inside that I think I'm the only person that really cares about. But it's a huge problem. It's a huge problem, right? Oh, never mind. I pray the farmers and HBCUs protection. Lots of weird stuff. Okay, good. That's good. Truth. Greetings. I'm still waiting. Dude, building a school is hard. I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna shit on him. Building a school is hard. It's tough. It's not. You know what I mean? Like, you're gonna try things and then get set back, and then you're not gonna have the money to, like, right now. I'm supposed to tear the roof down. If I were to have tore the roof down now and then, because, like, again, I'm trying to buy a home, and we did not understand the amount of random ass stuff you have to pay for in that process. I got to find a way to get my damn vehicle across the state. All my stuff, just all these expenses flying over my head, right? If I had tore the roof down when I wanted to, which was like earlier last month, I'd be in a bad situation. I'd be like, oh, he's not doing it. He's not doing that kind of thing. Like, it's hard to explain, but because there'd just be a bunch of nails and shrapnel all over the place, and then the school would start, and I would have ran out of money at that point, right? So yeah, man, it's. I'm sure I think he's doing like $500 dates now. I'm sure he's doing $500 where you date him and the women will pay like $500, and maybe that helps out. But yeah, well, the thing he's trying to do is there's gonna be setbacks if he's serious about it. I don't know if he's serious about it or if he's just like an entertainer, which I kind of tend to. I feel like that's the case. But if he's serious about it, the thing he's trying to do is difficult, and there will be times where funding runs out, and then there's funding. You forgot to pay the tax on this. You didn't get the this. You didn't get the that. You know. I'm doing it in a place in Nigeria. It's easy to build a school because there's less red tape. It's less expensive. You can do a lot. Like all the bricks we made, that was all under $900. All right, under $900. So we were able to do that. But $900, man, that's gonna buy you 2 seats in America. So I don't know. I'll never support him again. He's not serious. Yeah, maybe he's not serious. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if he's an entertainer, but I'm not going to like, oh, ha 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 ha. The he didn't build the thing, because who knows? Maybe he hasn't given up, right? I'm not good. I'm not. Yeah, I know somebody who donated to the school, and I haven't spoken to her since. She went to go hear him speak, and she made a sizable donation to the school, and it didn't happen. But my thing is, and from the beginning, there are 12 schools that are doing the exact same thing you're proposing your school is going to do in your town, in Philadelphia. You know? So I don't see what's unique about it. I don't see what the hubbub is. Maybe you just have a bigger platform. And there's a level that I think as time goes, it's very obvious. Okay, this guy's an entertainer. This is an entertainer. One of the best entertainers I've ever seen, but he's an entertainer, right? That's what I'm feeling. Maybe he'll prove me wrong. I don't know the guy. Came to my city as a keynote speaker. I donated, and then he canceled the same day. Okay, my bad. Never mind. I'm so sorry. Truth, I apologize. I apologize on behalf of, I guess him. You know, sorry about that. Yeah. So, but that being said, now getting donations after this point, nah, not gonna happen. Is building an entire school in America off donations logical? No, not at all. That's not logical. And then there's an element of like, even if he's, I don't know if he's like, like, I don't know if he's okay, but like, there's an element of it where it's like, it almost seems like dude wants to do the entire thing by himself based off of the thing he has in his head. So, I don't know. It's not my topic. His claim is the other schools are charter, so African people don't have control over the curriculum. That's not a real thing. So that part I get. We need to control the content in the school. Yeah, you can control the content in a charter school. You can 100%. You go wait till you find out what. Yeah, no, that's cap. There's basic minimum standards. There's basic minimum standards that the state or the city are gonna give you, where it's like they have to know this by this point in time. They have to know that by that. But this is the minimum. It's like they have to know math. They have to be able to read. It's like stuff that I would hope your school's gonna do anyway. And then after the basic minimum standard, the sky's the limit as far as what you want to do. You know, so it's not a matter of if they got some goofy stuff in the history book or whatever. I think that's the part that people tend to take issue with. If they got some goofy stuff, teach your own history. Teach the history that makes sense to your person and that kind of thing. Nothing's gonna stop you. But the state of Pennsylvania was founded in, I don't know, 1752. Okay, yeah, that's not. So what? That's a basic minimum standard, you know. So yeah. But yeah, there's already 12 schools that do what he's saying. So I don't know. Everybody, and that's another thing I don't like too, is like when somebody wants to do something, and they start discrediting the people that have already done the thing, right? It almost tells me that you're only speaking like this because you haven't been in these shoes. You understand? Those are basic minimum standards. You can do what you want to do after that, right? That kind of thing. Even people at homeschool, they still have to meet these basic minimum standards. But after that, I lived across the street from some kids who were homeschooled, and honestly, of all the friends I grew up with, I'm most grateful for growing up near those kids because they were incredible, super imaginative. They would honestly, like, looking back at it, I don't remember them doing school. If they did school, maybe they did like an hour or two a day, and then when we got home from school, they had been making video games for a good 6 hours. They had been making. They would just, one would be over here making movies with his VHS camera. The other one's over here making his video game. There's other ones waiting for his turn to make his video game. And they're teaching us how to do all these things too. We're teaching them things that we know, super imaginative, super free, that kind of thing. But they still had to meet basic minimum standards. Very intelligent. They were not behind anybody whatsoever. They had the base. That's why I keep repeating this basic standards thing. You meet the basic standards, and then whatever. I think they're a part of. They're a super Catholic. Whatever super Catholic stuff their parents want to tell them, they can do that. But they were still free to do whatever. So half of their day was spent making movies where one of them got like a blood effects machine where you pump it and it shoots blood everywhere. And that was his school day. He was just making movies, and people were just blowing up. You know what I mean? But he can read and write, so that's cool. Adumma. True that they do. Facts. Get the other side of the narrative. Yeah. These things are not. Yeah, anybody that comes in, even with what I do, right? I never get in this and I start talking about, I've noticed a lot of people that teach Odinani, these ones are fake. These are fake DBAs. They don't know what's going on. This is fake. What does that even mean? There's a good DBA and there's a better DBA. There's no, I don't, what do you mean a fake? What the hell does that even mean, a fake DBA, right? Now okay. Anybody you're dealing with, anything with Odinani, is a discernment thing. So if somebody says I can do X, Y, Z, and they do whatever it is, and it doesn't work, then okay, they don't know how to do the thing. It doesn't make them fake. Either you know the thing or you don't. That's all it is. Either you can do it or you can't. So when somebody says fake dibia, that tells me that this person thinks that there's a dibia that can do absolutely everything and just has magic powers shooting out their hands and shit, right? And that's the real one. Everybody else is fake. No, these are all students that are learning something, and they are sharing what they're learning. They're receiving something. They're sharing what they're receiving. Can you be a fake student? I mean, yeah, I've seen fake students. So never mind, I'm tripping. Can you be a fake learner? No, I don't think you can be a fake learner. Simon Azuka, kedu ka ịdị nwanne? Ke ka ịdị? Yeah, he tries to do too much. Yeah, yeah. You have to. I try to do too much too. So I've made delegating a big priority going forward. That's why I'm saying that like you're gonna start seeing more output as far as my videos because I wasn't delegating as well as I could before. And it wasn't because I wanted to do it that way. It's just my immediate instinct. Maybe it's probably being an Aries for all my tarot people. My immediate instinct is, oh, something needs to be done, do it. You know, oh, something needs to be done, do it. Right? I get that from my dad. And sometimes you need to fall back and say, you know what, this person is better at doing it than you. Let them do it. So yeah. Hey, question for you. I'm into numerology. What can you say about those born on Eke Day? Okay, those born on Eke Day. Eke Day is the senior of all days. She is the big sister. She is the Ada. Ada is a very serious title in Igbo culture. In Igbo culture, your birth order gives you a title. So the firstborn daughter is the Ada. Okay? The firstborn daughter is the Ada. And Ekede is referred to as the Ada. She's the firstborn daughter. Okay? Individuals born on Ekede, that path has leadership in it. It has leadership in it. It has a big personality in it. A big personality in it. A big presence, a presence in it. Ekede is very there's a how what's the best way to how's the best way to put it? Like Fela, I don't know if you know Fela Kuti, right? That personality, right? If you know Fela Kuti, that's like an AKD person who completely just embraced it, who just embraced it. You understand, right? So Fela is a great example. Um, Things will be done my way kind of mentality, right? Things will be done my way. Things will be done my way. Without, I'm not trying to sound dictatorial because some people are more liberal with it, right? They're more whatever, but there's a way I do things and things will be done that way kind of energy. Um, Very strong spiritually. Very strong spiritually, right? Very strong spiritually. It's another one. I'm trying to think of traits for Ekede, Ekede, Ekede. Ekede. Yeah, just Fela is a good example. Fela. Use Fela as your example. Go watch videos of Fela and be like, oh, okay, that's what it is. That's it. I always like on certain days I've kind of figured out who would fit the thing, right? Like Urie, I think Andre 3000 is a great example. I think the phrase nonchalant dreadhead for men is a good example. Uh, who else? Who else? Who else? As random as it's gonna sound, Snoop Dogg is a good example for Urie. But the one that Eke is very much Fela. Like that's what comes to mind is Fela. Uh, who else? Yeah, a lot of people that make history or Eke Day people. My dad loves Fela. Thank you, Diana, as well. The person can be the problem too if spiritual work is not okay. Let me go back. I think I missed something. Good morning over here. It's Eke in Igbo market days. Well done. Yeah. Uh, person could be the problem too. If spiritual work does not have expected outcomes, the person also has daily work being done. Okay, I'm the firstborn daughter and Nweke. Yeah, Diana is also a good example. Diana is a good example, you know. Eke people, it's easier for Eke people to know who they are and run with it. Okay, that's the best way to put it. It's easier for them to know who they are and run with it, right? If you're an Eke person, use the Eke day as a day of rest and a day of spiritual connection. If you're a Eke, yeah, that's what I was going to say. Use that day as a day of rest and a day of reconnecting, connecting, doing your work, that kind of thing. But Eke people, they know it's easier for them to just know who they are, right? And a lot of the questions people have about themselves that they don't they can shake that off real easy, right? They're back home. They're more traditional than like Uriye people. They're more traditional than Uriye people. I'm the fourth one. Nkwo. Nkwo is the hero. Nkwo wants to do the right thing. I found my daughter was born on Nkwo and I on Eke. Very interesting to see how it is aligned with her personality. Very cool, very cool. From what I learned from your videos. Oh, thank you for that. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Yeah, Nkwo does wants to do the right thing. Wants to make things right. Wants to do the right thing, make things right. On Nkwo Day, if you have any beefs, if you're fighting with your significant other, spouse, baby mama, baby daddy, friend, try to reconcile on Nkwo Day. Try to reconcile because any intentions you set on Eke Day is going to dominate the week. The intentions you set on Eke Day is going to dominate the week. It's almost like when you tell people, like, for example, if you get in a fight with somebody in the morning, if you get in an argument in the morning, it's going to be really hard for you to shake that feeling for the rest of the day. Okay? So treat Eke Day like your morning. Eke is the east as well. That's where the sun rises from, right? So our ancestors understand that the rising sun, you can program your day based on the intentions you pour into the rising sun. This is why when I greet my ancestors, I do it as the sun is rising. And I face the rising sun, which is the east, and I say what kind of day we're going to have. As the sun is rising, if I get on the internet and I start cussing people out and that's the day I'm going to have. And it's unshakable, right? So understand that. You'll understand Eke people a little bit more. This is what it is. All right, let's do it. Oh, we're on bullshit today. Okay, let's do it. Right, that kind of thing. Yeah, Eke people are very spiritually strong, strong personality. Leadership is in that path. So if a person on Eke Day, or like an Eke person takes up leadership, it'll move well for them. Don't take your spiritual life lightly as well as an Eke person. Don't take it lightly. Careful with what you say. Your words are strong. That kind of thing. Yes, Afa lasts as long as the spirits want to talk. If you're unclean, very, very short. Well said. Well said. Did somebody ask a question about Afa? Okay, if you don't mind me, how long does Afa reading usually last? Uh, just as long as there's things to say, kind of like what Diana said. So, if you keep asking questions, it'll keep answering. Now, here's the thing. Okay, so you had asked earlier about readings, and Diana had brought up something that I do need to mention. Ndiegede, right? Our higher ancestors, right? Uh, more higher spirits. They don't deal with unclean hands, unclean environment. They don't deal with that. They don't deal with that. Okay? They don't deal with that. So, the path you're walking in your life, the actions you're taking, your level of guilt right? As far as just what you've done, especially if it's like our spiritual abominations, those things will block your capacity to receive because there's a lot of spirits that don't deal with unclean spaces, hands, people, actions, all that stuff. There are those that do deal with what is unclean. You don't want answers from them. You don't want answers from them. Walk the right path, righteous path. Do what your chi knows is right. Do what your chi knows is right. If your chi knows you did something and it's wrong, you start feeling that feeling, go make it right. Of course, avoid our abominations and avoid those who have committed them. I was in a I was in a barber shop, and one of the barbers started talking about how this girl was fine and he didn't know it was his cousin. Yo, I got up and got the fuck out of there. I just got up and left. I got up and left because that's our. You talk about your cousin's fine, right? That's our. Because me being in that room, it diminishes me. It hurts me, whether I believe it or not, whether I know it or not. We are in a world of unseen forces. These forces influence forces. Every effect has a cause. If somebody is vibrating on the spirit of stealing shit, you hang out with them long enough that you're going to start vibrating on that spirit too. If somebody is vibrating in the spirit of negativity, you just be in the room with them, you're going to shift a little bit more towards that negativity. Why? Because we are both mado and mo, so we are person and we are aura, light body, spirit, right? And mo is very, mado has this trait too, right? If you look at the science of it, but mo has this trait where there's a lot more osmosis going on. Where if I take a hot cup of coffee and I put it down on a table, if I lift that coffee and I feel the table is hot like that coffee was hot. But being on that cool table, the coffee gets a little cooler, right? It gets a little cooler because the thing is, it's spreading its heat elsewhere. Okay? This is how more spirit works. Whatever time your surroundings are on, you'll be on that time too. There's an elu that says, a maggot that falls in fish soup is fish soup. A maggot that falls in fish soup is fish soup. All right? Whatever your surrounding is, you become that thing. There's another saying that says, an abomination that continues for more than a year becomes a tradition. Okay? An abomination that continues for more than a year becomes a tradition. Okay? So being mindful of what you're involving yourself with and then what you're also consciously doing. Right? There's a way of cleansing yourself using the Ose. If you are on Patreon and you guys want me to teach you how to cleanse with that, just the whatever the hell I've been around, just get it off me. If you guys want to learn that, just message me on Patreon. I'll make a post. If you guys are not interested, that's fine. So, where was I? So, one of the ways that Afa is more communicative is if it's dealing with a person with clean hands, like Diana said, right? Which most of you have. Most of you are fine. Also, the length of the reading is not important. It's the quality. If you get the answer, sometimes you'll get the answer you want in 2 minutes. Sometimes you'll be there for an hour. But you ask the question, you receive the answer. Okay? Scene, I started a spiritual journey. I first got good with my agon. Everything now takes me back to my hometown. When I have my own house, when I build my own altar, things have been met. Aha, Samson, Jashika Wanne, Jashika. Everything you shared, I love that. I follow. Okay, cool. Oh wow, things you have been teaching us coming out to life. Samson, man, I appreciate that. That's dope, man. I'm happy to hear that. Cool, 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 cool. Ant Hill. with double heads came out in front of my house. Wow, a tree with three leaves came out in front of my Agon spirit. Wow, right inside of my house. Um, I have good videos about them, how it all started. Samson, do you post these videos online? If you post them, send me a link. Can you say it in Igbo? Barely. The Ilu? Barely. Uh, Ichichiri dara na ofe azụ bụ ofe azụ. Ichichiri dara na ofe azụ bụ ofe azụ. So yeah, I can say it in Igbo, but barely. Odemma. Ichichiri da Ichichiri dapụrụ na ofe azụ bụ ofe azụ. Something like that. Little snake I saw in the morning in front of my eye. Wow. Ah, Samson. Odeka. It's as if I'm speaking to Onyegede, right? Odeka. It's as if I'm speaking to an extraordinary person. Odemma. Creative, man. What's going on with your boy Talib? What's going on with your boy Talib? Guys, it looks like you guys are running out of questions. Do we have any more questions? Ubulu, it's as if you've been coming here playing with people that shouldn't be played with, and it seems that something is now playing with your head, Hakuya. You're playing with people that should not be played with, and it seems that now something is playing with your head. It's not too late, my brother. It's not too late. It's not too late. Wata ego. Are you from Ubulo? Are you from Rivers? Are you from Rivers? Are you from Rivers? Okay, I'm from Haiti, but I watch your content. Initially, I was curious what those Odinala say about outsiders participating in the culture. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. It's not an issue. And Werun Sobu, it's fine. Ultimately, you learn that we're talking about yourself, and we're talking about things that are very universal. So it's not something someone can or should keep somebody from. Now, there are things, right, within Odinala. Odinala's ancestral thoughts, right? So there are things within Odinala that are for certain people, right? Adibia is a certain person, and Inze is a certain person. But that's not determined based on, oh, you're a citizen of this country, you're a citizen of that country. It's determined on your calling, your own specific calling, right? And so as I share these things, if something resonates, lean in. If something doesn't resonate, let it pass. That's really all it is. But and Haiti, because you're Igbo. Talk about I'm from Haiti. Can I participate, bro? Well, there's literally an Igbo Loa. I don't know if you knew. There's a thing called the Igbo Loa. The Igbo Loa. I was having this conversation with somebody who practices voodoo, and he was saying that the people don't deal with the Igbo Loa because they don't know what it eats, and that when it does eat, it stays by itself. It eats by itself. And immediately I was like, oh, that's an Inze. Igbo Loa is an Inze, right? Is an Inze, right? And that you give it kola nuts, and it can only eat with other Inze. So I solved an ancient mystery in the Haitian tradition. But they said that when the Igbo Loa does speak, it's very powerful, it's very effective. It's just that most people don't know how to get it to do something, to move. And it's an Inze, right? So yeah, so as a Haitian, right? Come on now. Come on now. We vibe heavy. Okay, Derek, I will start taking you and Serious Ugo seriously once you guys. Ah! Hey, listen, you can take me seriously or you can not take me seriously. The choice is yours. No wonder I like your vibe. We're so okay. So you guys are talking about something with each other. Tommy J says thank you from Australia. Appreciate you. Okay, I missed some questions. I'm gonna scroll back. Ubulu, you're from Newi. Newi people are supposed to have sense. Newi people are supposed to have sense. Why are you talking like this? Yes, I have a question. Moved to the U.S. with the family over 15 years ago, but every single dream I have is in Nigeria. Yes, every single one. All of my dreams are back home. Do you have thoughts on this? Yeah. So, um, everybody is two things: mado and moi. Mado and moi. This relationship we have with time and space is primarily based on mado. If you are connected to your moi, you will understand that your relationship with time and space is different. What is the difference? Everywhere you have been, your moi is still there. You'll notice in a lot of rituals, they will ask you to get sand from soil from the footpaths in your community or the soil in the market. Now, one of the reasons for this is because your ancestors' feet have touched that soil and their moi is still there. Their spirit is still there. Okay? Their spirit. Now, why is this? Because moi is everywhere we have been and everywhere we are going. And when we dream, like let's say now, let's say this is me. That's me moving through life, right? So there's a whole bunch of my moi lined up. What's behind me? There's a whole bunch of my moi lined up in that trail. And sometimes I can return to a certain spot that I'm still there. You're still there. Your spirit is still there. That's the easiest way to explain it. I can return to that space, right? I can return to that space. It happens to us regularly when we dream, when we reminisce, when we feel things, that kind of thing, right? This thing that we call trauma, that's one of those, that's you returning, right? You can also be intentional about that return. There are higher levels of being able to be intentional about that return where you're consciously occupying that space that you've been before. But your moi is also everywhere you've been. So remember when I was sliding across, there's a bunch of me, right? There, before I slid, I was there, right? Before you arrive, you are there. Okay? So that is moi. That's how moi works. But your dreams are telling you that your spirit is still at home. And those part that you that's at home is very alert for some reason. And it's talking to the you now. It's talking to the you now. And there's a way back home is anyway, right? There's a way like when you're there, you dream deeper when you're there. Like you dream deeper, it's more vivid. And then you once you've been like once you like for example, right? Most of my life has been in America, but most of my dreams are at home. I have the same thing as you. Most of my dreams are at home. Most. Anyways, let me not say something funny, but most of my dreams are at home, right? But I know what it is. I know what it is, right? So yeah, you're more. You leave a little part of yourself everywhere you've been, and sometimes the you in that place will pull you for one reason or another. Will speak to you for one reason or another. Will be more present in your dreams for one reason or another. I would take it as a sign that there's something very important at home that you should start considering. You can also, one of the best ways to interpret dreams is to go to your altar, ask a question, and then dream it. And then dream. All right? See your dreams as communication. So something is talking to you, something is communicating with you. You can then talk back to that thing for clarity if you need it. But a lot of times we know. We just have to trust our knowing. Okay? What do Yeah, b-ball, b-ball boy. Diana is saying that you may not be an outsider. I'm telling you, you're not an outsider. Just straight up, you're just not. No wonder I like you. Okay, cool. Wasn't easy when I first started. Yeah, every threshold has its guardian. Every guardian has its challenges. Every threshold. You know, I used to wonder why people refer to Ekwensu as a trickster, and I used to disagree with that. I understand it a little bit more now, right? I get it more, right? Because Ekwensu and Ekwensi, they stand at crossroads, and sometimes they stop you from crossing, right? They stop you from crossing. They stop you from changing something from the way it's supposed to be. So as you change, you're gonna feel the challenges are gonna happen. Like now, we're trying to purchase this home, and all types of all types of challenges have been just dinging me on the head and doing all types of that kind of thing. It's been tough. These past few months have been difficult, but I love how difficult it is because I know that a threshold is being crossed. Something big is being crossed, right? And I'm ready for it, right? I'm built for it, so I'll succeed in it. Phoenix says you missed my question? Question mark. Probably. Ask it again. Ask it again. Many people died in my family doing my cone. Damn. Okay. Sorry about that. There's an Igbo village in Virginia. Yes, I believe so. I believe so. I haven't been. Ubulu said that Nze means people who live in Nigeria. Oh man, this anti-abroad propaganda. Chill out, man. More sounds like the onion skin function in animation software. Interesting. You can see a few frames ahead. Yes, 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 yes. Dope, dope, dope. Creative. I keep forgetting that you animate. You were supposed to show me. You were supposed to send me your work. I think 2 lives ago we talked about this. Before I was asked to go back to my hometown, our family all four was missing. Wow. Oh, wow, wow, wow. Yeah, so okay, all right, go ahead. So my family all four was missing. Wish I keep asking about it. It was used to work bad things to the young ones. Ugh. Oh, sorry about that. Ah, Sima. Kedu nwanne? Odogu. Kedu, kedu, kedu. Kedu Kide, Derek, long time. I need to speak to you about class. Has it started back yet? No, not yet. Starting at the end of the month. We're starting at the end of the month, man. So we'll talk. Message me as soon as you can. I'll be emailing or messaging people, the alumni, throughout the week. So if you don't message me first, I'll get to you. Ademma. Spirits want you back home. Ademma. I was finding my first trip to Nigeria, and I started having dreams before I physically went a year later. Wow, dope. Something so simple, Derek doesn't. No, I know, I know, I know. I already know. I already know what it is, right? I already know. I know. I'm gonna be home. I'm gonna live somewhere out in the bush by a river. I'm gonna grow my food. I already know who I am. I'm just playing a little game here. I already know, right? I already know. Trust me. I know how this story ends. Let me put it that way. I've seen Miri Spirit as well, and some that return to my land. That's Azuka. That's dope. Reason. There's no life in America. Like, well, yeah. The nose knows, follow the nose, and knows where it grows. The sense is the strongest song of memory. I'll do them all. Being a firstborn daughter, well, okay. Being firstborn daughter and unqual, how does it work together? It works together to create you. You would have to tell me. You would have to tell me, right? So everybody already has. That's why you don't play around with that moderating too. That's why you don't play around. That's your first daughter. That makes sense. Your first daughter. So okay. So in the Igbo tradition, everybody in a title has a title, or everybody in a family has their title based on their birth order. So there's the Ada. The Ada is the firstborn daughter. Okay, when it's time to get married, your suitor in our tradition, because you're an Ada, he has to bring more stuff, right? So he's not just marrying a normal person; he's marrying an Ada, right? In Udinani, if there is a family, like let's say there's a fight, right, in the family, the area that the fight was had, it's the Ada that cleanses it, that clears it. Don't know you're so okay. So it's the Ada that cleanses it. If someone in the family does an abomination, it is the Ada of the whole family. So the oldest firstborn daughter that cleanses the land after Ndiosu do the cleansing. And then by nature, and this is universal. Everybody knows how firstborn daughters are, right? When it comes to acknowledging, this isn't everywhere in Igbo land. This is just like certain communities have this tradition. Firstborn daughters acknowledge the women on their paternal side. They're the one that acknowledge the women on their paternal side. And yeah, I think, and then when you eat chicken, I believe the Ada gets the heart. I believe the Ada gets the heart. And then the firstborn son is the Otbara or the Diotbara. The firstborn son inherits the father's Ofo. Um, what else? The firstborn son inherits the. I mean, there's a whole bunch of stuff with it. The father's Ofo. The family land. And then you're like the prayer leader. Let's put it that way of the family. Then there's the Ulu. The Ulu is the second born daughter. The second born daughter has one of her names is the name of her maternal grandmother. I'm trying to think of some other stuff about the Ulu. I think the Ulu gets to chill. The Olu is the second born son. And then I don't remember the names of the last born daughter and the last born son. I think the last born daughter might be the Oju, but I'm not sure. But firstborn daughters, everybody knows how firstborn daughters are. Bossy. Well, I think bossy is the term. Uh, like a second mother, the assistant mother. The assistant parent, my bad. The assistant parent, right? Cool, cool, cool. Uh, Ancestors tell you to pack up now. Ubulu, I know. In my study of Odinani, I found that I was born on Eke Day. Does this help me discover my chi? It can give you clues as to who you are as a person, right? But your understanding your chi is a lot more. There's more to it than knowing the day you were born. There's a lot more to it. Knowing the day you're born is a small detail. But it just gives you a few more clues about who you are and how to go about it, right? Who you are and how to go about it. Okay? But you know who you are, if that makes sense. You know who you are. All that is tied to my Aghon spirit, I manifest something out growing big. Jishiken one day, Jishiken. Azuka, as you or Samson, as you're blessed, you're blessing everybody in this room. I was saying earlier, if you're in a room where people have let's say negative vibration, bad intentions, that kind of thing, it radiates outwards, and everybody in the room absorbs it. Right? That's why in Diodinani we keep good company. Right? At this, the opposite is true. People that have good vibrations, people that things are moving forward for, people who, for example, now, like traditionally when women have children, what will happen is there's a day where everybody will come to visit the mother and the child, and they'll take nzu. The mother will have nzu on their neck and nzu all over the child, and they'll rub the nzu all over the visitors. Right? So you've brought this incredible thing into the world. The woman's omomo is at peak. It's very powerful, and she's sharing her capacity to do this with everybody, her blessing with everybody, right? Traditionally, she would have a shrine or an arashi for her omomo, which is usually like a mound. And things are left, gifts are, people leave gifts there. People leave gifts there and that kind of thing, or pour libations there and that and stuff like that, right? And thank it for bringing this blessing into the world. But we all visit to get that, it rubs off. And people, even till this day, people will flex that, oh, I went and got my powder. Did you get your powder? Oh, this person just gave birth. Did you go get your powder? Okay, go get yours, that kind of thing. So when I was home last, my uncle Chema and his wife had just had a baby after years of trying. And I went and got my powder, right? It was funny when I got there. Anyways, I've already told this story 100 times about my grand aunts going ratchet. I don't. That's a whole different thing. Big ups. Oh, she has all the responsibility. Exactly, exactly. So same thing with the Ekede, right? Same thing with Ekede. Ekede carries the spiritual and the physical in equal force. So more spirits are alive on that day, or active, very active on that day. I like this, Ada. Firstborn son in the house. Yeah, creative force. You're the Diopara. You're the Opara. I think the Opara gets the head of the chicken. So I don't know if you're used to eating chicken heads. Chicken head. But yeah, you get the head of the chicken. The Opara inherits the offal of his father. So if you come from a long line of first sons, your offal is very powerful. And you are the person who prays for everybody that's under that awful. So I'm gonna inherit my father's awful. I'm the firstborn son. So I'm covering all my siblings. I'm also covering all of my cousins because my dad is a firstborn son and my grandfather is a firstborn son. So I'm covering all that. I'm covering 3 generations with one awful, right? Three ancestors. And then his dad was a second son, was the Olo. But it's controversial. They say he was the firstborn son, but the other one he was supposed to be the firstborn son, but the other one was born early, was born earlier than normal from a second wife. And my ancestor was the first son of the first, supposed to be the first son of the first wife, but the other one came out early. Funny enough, one of the descendants of that other one is like a major football player now. So, but I won't say who. Dad was married twice. I've been told I'm bossy. Okay, now you know. I'll do more. I'm first in the house, second overall. Probably a mix. Interesting. Ubulu, are you joking? No, Ubulu does Ubulu. Wow, I named my second daughter after one of my grandmothers. Not no. Do you know what's funny? Joanna, do you know what's that's so interesting that you did that, right? A lot of these things that I say, you don't have to do them consciously. They'll happen. They'll happen. Before we even knew about this tradition, my sister and a few of my cousins had already naturally done that. They had already before they knew about the tradition. I'm the one that told everybody about the tradition. Like, oh, I already did that, right? So yeah, a second daughter named after, or one of her names, or is directly named after her maternal grandmother. So mine, if my next child is a girl, her name would probably be Inkiru, or maybe it'll be a middle name. But yeah, sometimes we do it naturally, like like, you know what I mean. But parts of us already know these things. If I'm saying it and it resonates, there's somebody that in your team that is remembering it. There's somebody in your essence that's remembering it. I read that those born on Eke Day have a gift for creating. Yes, yes. That would explain my artistic abilities. Yeah, so I used Fela as my example, right? Fela is like spot on. I don't know what day he was born, but just he's just all that. He's all that. All right. Every word of God is tested. He is a shield of those take refuge in him. Okay. Seed of Abraham, you sound scared. Seed of Abraham, you sound scared. You all right? Yeah. I'll do my. Let's see if we have any more questions. Otherwise, I gotta hop. My son is waiting for me, I believe, but he's probably fallen asleep by now. He's probably fallen asleep by now. I want to recline on this chair, but the recline is too strong. I'm very excited to bring out my new camera. I bought this very A1 camera with a very strong lens. So this is about to look like a damn movie. This is about to look like a movie. But I shout out to all those who were with me when I was 2B status with the cinematography. We're about to upgrade. We're about to upgrade. I'll do my. Oh, okay. I've been missing you guys' questions. My dad originated from Igala, then resided in Delta, Ila Town. My mom is from Ijaw. Oh wow! So you got three different things moving through the family. That's powerful. All related. All related. Olo Dumare, long time. Been working. Glad to see continued success and familiar faces. Yo! Nyuku Mere. Nyuku Mere. Yeah, I haven't seen your name in here in a minute, man. I'm super happy to see you back, or I'm happy to see you back. I always like seeing names I can recognize. I love seeing new ones too, but some of you guys we've been together for a minute. But yeah, so how have you been? Update us. Nyuku Mere, a great thing has happened. Oh, I caught the end. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see if anybody has any more questions. Now that you're here, I'm willing to stay a little longer. Cachifo. Okay, looks like we're heading out. We gotta get Duru up to 360 cam with the live green screen. Yo, yeah, yeah, yeah. We gotta do all that. I'll do my. Here we go. Cool. Um, I'm an Earth child, Alpha. I think I'm Alpha too. Working in the medical field. Jashika one. Jashika. Powerful. Yeah, he said knowing your chi takes time. Yes, so you've always known your chi, but knowing that you know your chi takes time. Hope that makes sense. It is a lifelong process. It is always speaking to you. You're always speaking to it, whether on purpose or not on purpose. But over time, what you're receiving and what you're learning becomes more and more clear. You begin to realize what is of your chi and what is not. And it's just something that expands with time. There are so many frogs out right now. There are so many frogs out right now. I got about three frogs looking at watch. We got three frogs listening right now, just watching. My hometown is Awamama, right? Awamama. So the name is debated. Awa can be frog or toad, frog or toad, or traveler. So some people say it's traveler, some people say it's frog. You know, I like to believe that they're one and the same. What was I talking about? I don't remember. Oh yeah, knowing your chi. Yeah, knowing your chi is a lifelong process. But as life goes, you realize you've always known it. You realize you've always known it, right? The more you understand your chi, the more those little parts about yourself whether they be small details or whether they be things that you didn't think you understood. Bro, I wish you guys can see how these frogs are listening. They form like a set. Oh, okay, one of them just jumped away. Maybe he's shy. Maybe she's shy. I don't know. I don't want to misgender them or whatever. But what was I saying? Anyways, yeah. So I in my Chi explained video, I used this line from Nas because I think it summed it up very well, right? And it's from the song "You're the Man," and the line was, "When everything around me." When everything around me was cloudy, I think it starts with, my chair became a king's throne, my destiny found me. It was clear why the struggle was so painful. Metamorphosis, this is what it came to, and God, I'm so grateful. So, this is a line from Nas, and that sums up knowing your chi. So, in that line, I interpreted a person who reached a point where all the things they've been through and all the things that they are started making sense. And then once, or started, the picture started becoming more clear. And as the picture became more clear, he now understood who he was the whole time, right? So the chair became a king's throne, right? Understood who he was the whole time. So that's what the process of understanding your chi is. That's what I mean by you've always known it. You may not be aware that you don't know it, but you've always known it. It's a matter of accepting it and embracing it, right? And that kind of thing. It's always been there. It's your first voice. It's easier to know your chi than to not know your chi. It's your first voice. It's when you, should I do this? The first answer. That's the first one, right? The chi takes the first thing, is not concerned with the second. I was still in training when I consistent work, just missed the moves. Okay. Nyukume, it sounds like you just received you just got a really good job. So it sounds like you just started a really good job. So, Jishike wanne, igade, igeto. Okay, I'm sleepy now. Good night, Phoenix. Udo, I'll take over. I missed the videos. Dana, they're coming. They're coming. They're coming. The videos are coming. They're enjoying the lecture. Yes, it sounds like it. Got cloudy. Is it got cloudy? Yeah, yeah. Thoughts on early human evolution? Yeah. Like you're talking about hominids and stuff. It's very interesting stuff. It's something that I look into a lot. I don't want to say study. I look into it a lot. I get updates on like findings and stuff like that too. Whatever you want to talk about early hominids, I'm interested. You know. Can the chi feel like you slash your vibe, but like in a non-physical? Yes, yes. I understand your question. Yes, yes. I brought down my chi. Yeah, we talked about that. Simon, we were talking about bringing down your chi earlier. I brought down my chi in the middle of my yard, oracle tree, and struck it to the ground to make it a dress. All right, y'all. This has been a good discussion as always. We are starting our traditional medicine class and our Igbo language class this month. If you want to take both, cool. It can work if you're ready to make it work. Those of you who are Ezumezu tier and you want to sign up for the next round of classes, message me so I can get you guys your seats reserved. Those who are in Ogwon 1 going into Ogwon 2, it's starting the same time, end of this month. As always, I'm hoping I don't have to postpone any of them because again, I do worry about having both classes at the same time, but it's kind of just how it worked out. As always, uno gade, uno geto, nke ọbụla unu tiri aka ọ ga-adị n'ụwa ọ ga-adị otu a n'eke n'orie n'afọ na nkwọ ise. All right, Jishike, take care, guys.